Morning everyone, happy Wednesday. Rare occasion you'll see me in a baseball cap, pretty much never. Stole it off the wall because I can't find my regular farming hats. Really sunny today. Today's project is very different and really exciting. So, if you haven't been following along, we've been having issues with our solar panel system being undersized for our current draw. We basically did 1,000 watts of solar panels, said, hey, now let's have a whole real life, right? Big mistake. We're overdrawing our system. About 200 watts per hour all day long. So, I actually, in the kit we ordered, have a wind turbine. It's 450 watt output. Can increase the size of our system by 50%. So today's project, which is actually day 3 of the project on this side, is wind turbine tower base construction. Let's check it out. Many moons ago, or actually just a few moons, our awesome neighbor Larry gave us this tower and this trailer, the trailer with the tower on it. It's a radio tower. It is 3 pieces. They all fit together. It's 40 feet tall overall height. Lucky me, that's pretty much the minimum height everybody recommends for good wind power. So, what we need to do is assemble a base for the tower. We're also going to guy it using guy lines, but I also want to have a nice strong base. So, the tower itself has these 3 points right here. It's essentially a triangle. You notice 2 of them are facing one direction and another this way. This is actually a hinge pivot point. The base of the tower will collapse so you can do maintenance on it, and then hinge it back up, lock the pins, and you're good to go. This is the base plate here where it connects. What we're going to do is take this base plate, inset it into concrete with 3 holes drilled and threaded rod coming through it. Once the tower's up, there's a threaded fitting right here that's galv pipe, and we're going to thread a few feet section of that on it, and then our wind turbine has a round pipe connection, which is convenient, and we're just going to clamp that to the pipe. Run our wire down through the tower, through conduit to the powerhouse, and hopefully call it good. Okay, so we are now at the future wind tower site. And how we picked it is, right here is Bianca's future crafting hut. Those are the fields. That's the powerhouse, okay? So the power needs to go from here to there and not interfere with much. Pretty much a straight shot. Also, it needs to be far enough away from anything that in the event of a collapse or a catastrophic failure, it doesn't take out our cabin or a vehicle or the powerhouse or Bianca in her craft hut or anything like that. So currently, we are 75 feet away from the powerhouse as the crow flies. And right here, we have the digging site of our monolithic slab that we're constructing. Now, in the past, my mistakes have generated approximately 2 tons of concrete in the forms of 12-inch diameter by 4-foot columns. We're going to use those to take up the majority of the base and act as a huge mass at the bottom of the tower. Now, as I carefully go down here to this piece of drywall, we can see in here that it's a big hole. You wouldn't want to fall down it, that's why the cover is there. Probably shouldn't be a piece of drywall. But it's 4 feet deep, about 2+ feet wide on each side. Just enough to allow for 4 of those columns to be placed down right in there. They're going to be rebar up. We're going to try to tie the rebar together on the 4 pieces, then have some others sticking up, backfill it with sand, compact it all around, and then come in with some form boards, 3 foot by 3 foot square, 6 inches thick, up to 8, poured with concrete. In that concrete square is going to be large J-bolt style fasteners, which are going to tie into the base plate for the wind tower itself. That's the plan. So now let's go check out the column. Took a little figuring to get it figured out. How do you lift and manipulate a 4-foot column that weighs at least 350 pounds? So in our quest to do this easily and with little effort, we tried to use the drill. We ended up soaking down the excavation area of the hole with 65 gallons of water in that ag tank. It then made the sand nice and compact and easy to drill out. We drilled one hole successfully, but when we went to drill the second one, even though we had clearance between the two holes, the drill walked and collapsed the holes and basically filled it in pretty much most of the way. So between me, Bianca, and Dad, we all hopped in the hole and got it excavated to what it is currently at. So sometimes doing it by hand is just as easy, I guess. Here's what we came up with to lift the column. We took the rebar that's protruding and bent it at 90 degrees on both sides, both pieces of rebar, while it was in the bucket horizontally. I'm probably going to take a video and insert it of us doing it again. But anyways, we then linked around the pieces of rebar right here as close as possible with a chain, hooking it around the leveling link on the tractor bucket. It then allows us to lift it straight up and down, which was the challenge for getting 4 of them into a pretty nicely square hole. You know, I could drop them on the ground and manipulate them with a bucket, but it would collapse the hole we dug, and the angle of the columns wouldn't be correct. So this is how we're going to do it. Be careful because I could smack my tractor in the teeth. Man, it's a little tippy. It's scary. I gotta go slow. I'm gonna put the camera down. Don't want to tip. We made it. It's kind of hairy, honestly. It's weird, I have 2 swinging pendulums right now. This thing swinging free, and the drill swinging free. It's making for an interesting ride, to say the least. If I swing too hard, it's going to collapse the sidewall. I'm going to drop it in deeper. Hang on. This is nerve-wracking. Alright, so as promised, one's done. We're going to go ahead and show the process for the rest. So, scoop up a column is step 1. Okay, so we retrieve the column in the bucket. Now, we're going to take the rebar that's protruding from the bottom and bend it over as a point to be anchored as a lift point for the chain. We've been using this post bender and it does just fine. These are a little further apart than the other ones, but it doesn't matter. All right. There we go. Now, I drop the column on the ground. Alright, so I got the column dropped on the ground, and we have other half, or the back half of the chain, wrapped around this steel plate. Then we have the hook side of the chain dangling on the ground. We're going around the rebar, and basically, Dad, are you trying to freehand that 350 pounds?
Yes, I am.
You're actually doing it too. Crazy person.
It works, does it?
Crazy person. Okay, so now we
Has there been any question in your mind?
Zero. Alright, now hook it around, choke it up as much as possible, and now the point of it is that the chain has to do a lot of work in order to pop those out. Here's the test. We'll do a no-cut test, Dad. Watch yourself. Hey, Dad, back up. Parents, we've never listened. Be careful during this step. This is where everything can go wrong. The second one, now to put it in place. Alright, so this right here can be really scary to people. It was scary to me. I just want to take a second to go over my thought process to remove my fear from it, because a lot of times what makes you mess up and what is dangerous is actually you being afraid of what you're doing. Okay, so basically what I do is, this is a 350-pound column. I was worried about its movement and how, if anything happened, it could flip the tractor, alright? But then I thought about what I'm dealing with, and I drew a line right there, which is about its halfway point, and my butt is about right there. Halfway below that on the column is 350 pounds divided by 2. That means 175 pounds of this column that are swinging around won't make the tractor flip, most likely, okay? 175 pounds above it is all I'm dealing with. I think I've had friends in this bucket, full-size men in this bucket, up in the air, 300 pounds. I've had a full load bucket of gravel being lifted up here, and that is way more than I'm ever going to do with this. Those things considered, I'm comfortable. Also, let's not confuse being comfortable with what you're doing and being brave or ballsy or doing things that are foolish, okay? Being comfortable with something means you should not be afraid of it, and you should also know what it can do. Respect it, and you won't have issues. I'm still taking it slow, even though it's less than gravel, and it's less than a person. Why? Because it's swinging around. It still can do stuff. Look at that. You gotta watch it. You gotta... What I gotta do is I gotta reset the column and curl. Okay. we are again. Caution being exercised. Let's stab this second column. Because my wheels get pretty close to the sidewall. I should be okay still, but it makes me nervous. Sorry, being nervous means I make mistakes, so putting the camera down gives me that much more attention span, which I need. Okay, so I'm thinking I have enough room for at least one more. It might be tricky to get 4 in here with how it's going. We'll see. Well, it's 3 p.m. It is as hot as it possibly can get today. And we have been foolish enough to work through the heat to get it done. Sometimes you just got to do things like that, you know? It could take forever if you keep on coming up with excuses. So, here we go. Backfilled with sand. It'll be compacted down with water. 4 sets. 4 giant 350-pound pylons being recycled. It's a really great feeling. I hated the failure of all those columns, so I'm glad we're at least using them for something. So what's next? It just now looks like kind of just rebar coming out of the sand. So I'm going to take the rebar, rebend it the best I can to kind of basically cover the most surface area. Then I'm going to come back with some form boards and some stakes, stake it around here and make a 3-foot by 3-foot square centered around the columns. Then I'm going to pour the concrete, put in some J-bolts, and attach the anchor plate for the tower. That's all I have for today. I have some other stuff going on this week, so this is going to stay as it is for another few days, but it's been a good part of the project. Dug a huge hole, figured out how to lift giant 350-pound columns and stab them in a hole straight up and down. It's kind of interesting. I hope y'all's Wednesday is treating you well. We'll see you soon, alright? Have a wonderful afternoon now. Thanks for watching. Hey, listen, this is nothing against ball fans, but y'all's hats, not good for farming. You should look into that.